Hello, hello. Bonsoir. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing well today. So, welcome to today's session. How are you doing today? So, please, if you're around, can you let me know in the comment that you're around? Because we're going to be having a very interesting session, right? A very interesting session. We're going to be looking at advanced Facebook advertisement, advanced Facebook ads, how to use Facebook Ads Manager to run more effective ads. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So if you're here, can you please just tell me hello in the chat so I know that you're around? I'm going to say hello to Akuswa Korateng. Akuswa Korateng is following us from Ghana. Interesting. Yeah. So, oh, is she the only one following us? If others are there, could you please indicate in the chat that you are around? So, my name is Simplicity Kazi. I'm sure by now you know me, and of course, I'll not be here alone. I'll be here with uh, uh, Udeme. Udeme is joining us from Nigeria. So, Udeme is going to be in the chat. And so if you have any questions, you can throw it in the chat. Udeme is going to answer all of them for you. And of course, I too, I'll be looking at the chat from time to time to answer questions. So I don't know if we are around because I can see only one comment. Yeah, so I want to know if we are around. So Monica Fongu is saying hello from Zambia. Hello, Monica from Zambia. Hope you're all doing well today. Yes. So please, could you help us tell the others who are supposed to join us that they can join us? Please help us tell the others to join us because this is a very practical session, right? And you don't want to miss it. Is one of those sessions where I'm going to be doing it practically. So it's not just going to be slides. In fact, I would run through the slides maybe in less than 20 minutes or 25 minutes, and then I'll take the next 30 minutes, the ending 30 minutes, to show you practically how to go about your ads, right? Yeah, I can see Beatrice and I'm from Ghana. Hello, Beatrice. How are you doing today? Yes, so without wasting a lot of time, we're going to start, right? So we're going to be looking at um, how to use Facebook Ads Manager to run more effective ads. Now, we have to note that some people don't use Facebook Manager to run ads, right? They do what we call boosts. So if you're here and that you're doing boosts, it's time for you to stop doing boosts, right? And start using what we call the Facebook Ad Manager because boosts have very limited options. Boosts have very limited option. Basically, you just have to go there and just select an audience there. Just try to put what you can put there, and of course put a budget there and say it should run for maybe 3 days or 7 days. Boosts are really not the best, so I would not recommend boost. I would recommend you use the Facebook Ad Manager. So hello, Rehab is joining us from Egypt. Hello, Asante Ventures. It's Doris actually joining us from Ghana. Okay, so we're going to go ahead without wasting a lot of time, right? So on our course outline for today, we're going to be looking at introduction to Facebook Business Manager, features of a business account, then step-by-step methods of creating an ad campaign on Facebook. So you don't want to miss out on what will be happening here, right? Yeah, so introduction to Facebook Business Manager. Like I was saying, people do boost, right? If you used to do boost, don't do boost anymore. Now it's time for you to use the Facebook Business Manager, because the Facebook Business Manager has a lot more options, than the boost. So that's why it's usually not recommended, or recommended to do boost. So what I'll ask you to do, right, is head on to business.facebook.com. Right, just head on to business.facebook.com. Maybe Udeme can help us drop that link in the chat. Head on to business.facebook.com to create your Facebook Business Manager account. So that's very, very important. So Udeme, maybe you can drop the link so that they can see it. That's the very first step. We have to start from there, right? Before we go to other areas. Now, so when you head on to Facebook, to business.facebook.com, they're going to ask you the name of your business, right? So you have to put the name of your business there, or you have to create, your business manager account. So there you put the name of your business, you put the email, and then you submit, right? So that's how to do it step by step. You head on to business.facebook.com, then you follow the informations. We are showing you how to create a business manager account. Then after that, you have to complete your business profile, right? Meaning that you have to enter your business name and email. You have to enter your business details, address, phone number, website, and of course, click submit, an email. Uh, when you click submit, they are going to send you an email, right, to confirm your business. So they'll send you an email typing the written confirm your business, and from there, you can click on the email to confirm your business. So it all starts at business.facebook.com. That's very, very important. So you click the confirm now button in your email. After you've submitted your information, they're going to send you an email, right, in your email, which you have to click on. And once confirmed, you have successfully created a business manager account and can proceed to adding your Facebook ad account, employees, and other sets. Now we're going to be looking at that practically. So it's very easy, right? It's very easy. So usually, this is what it will look like. The Facebook Business Manager menu. That's what it will look like. And there, from there, you can see your ads account, your payment method, your audience, your pixels, your ad reportings. You can have all the details here, right? You can have all the details. Yeah. So the Facebook Business Manager menu. From here, this is what you're going to see. And what I may like to maybe give as a disclaimer is that a lot of times, this interface usually changes a lot. Sometimes they will update one or two things. So it's very, very important to note that. Sometimes they will update. Maybe you may not find some things in the same positions after a certain amount of time. That doesn't really matter. All the options are going to be there, right? All the options are going to be there. Just that maybe due to updates, the positions might change and all of that. So you have to be flexible, right? And in as much as we are going to be training you, right, on Facebook ads, uh, one of the only ways you're going to master Facebook ads is by doing it yourself. You see, there are so many tools. I'm very soon I'm going to open practically to the I'm going to be opening the Facebook Manager ad account so that you see exactly what it looks like, right? You see, but um, in as much as we're going to train you, it's a very vast topic, right? So the best way is for you to do it. the more you will do it, the more it's going to be easier for you to understand, right? Yeah. So that was just what I wanted to be precise. So by the way, just before we continue, I would like you to hit the thumbs up button, and hit the subscribe button, to our email or to our YouTube channel, right? So hit the thumbs up button. Of course, we've been adding value probably to your business, educating you, and so you might want to just hit the thumbs up on that button on the video, and then also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah. So let's just go ahead. So this is what is going to look like, right? From there you can add, you know there are many options. You can click the page option in the left sidebar under account. You can click the add button. All this stuff I'm going to show you practically. So don't worry. Don't worry about it. I'll show you how exactly you can go about it. So I just want to rush through so that the last 30 minutes we do practicals, right? Yeah. So Facebook advertising tips and policies. Now this is something that you have to consider, right? You must consider the Facebook advertising tips and policies, because when you finish configuring your ad, most times you have to submit your ad for approval, you see. And sometimes you know people's ads are not approved because they didn't respect the Facebook ad policies. So you have to make sure you respect these policies, so that your ads can be approved. There are people that run ads but they are not approved, that make ad copies that are not approved. So it's very important to constantly, ensure that you are updated when it comes to Facebook advertising tips and policies. And few of these policies are: always ensure you follow 20% text rule uh, when design when designing your ad creatives. So your ad cannot just be text, let it be 20% text, and then 80% probably should be the design or should be the picture or whatever it is. So make sure you respect that. You cannot make an ad and all of it is just text without designs and all of that. So you might want to consider that. Secondly, no direct or indirect insertions or implications about a person's race, ethnic origin, religion, beliefs, age, sexual orientation or practices, gender identity, disability, medical conditions. And when you're running ads, right, make sure that you're not using, you're not going against some policies, like probably trying to defend. Um, trying to enter into complicated topics that are not going to help us. So make sure that your ads are simple. They are not attacking anybody. They are not trying to provoke anybody. They are not trying to support a certain political party, or trying to just avoid some languages in your ad. That's very, very important. If not, your art will not be approved. That's very important. So there are many of these policies. Always make sure you get permission to all images you use. And this is very important, right? Because sometimes, the fact that you find an image on Google doesn't mean that you are free to use that image. That's very important. You're not just allowed to use any image that you see on Google. So, in fact, there is no such thing as Google Images, because every image on Google comes from a particular website. So you can't say I picked this image on Google, because Google doesn't have images. All the images come from specific websites. So you have to make sure that the images that you're using uh, you have the authorization to use those images. Now, what you can do is you can decide to take your own images, probably get a camera and take good pictures of yourself, you know, Or you can decide to go to websites. There are websites today that allow that gives free images. Some of these websites could be Free. Free is a website that gives free images. I don't know if Udemy could maybe drop the link to some of these websites where you can get free images which you can use without having any challenges. So you can either take the images yourself or use the images that are on authorized websites, or free websites. Yeah, you have to respect data policy and rights, especially when running a lead generation ad. Respect data policy. That's very, very important. Do not run political campaign, you know, sell weapons or pharmaceutical drugs without proper license or authorization. Don't try to run a political campaign. Don't try to sell guns, sell drugs, all those kind of stuff. Just avoid all those kinds of stuff. Pharmaceutical drugs. If you don't have a formal authorization, don't venture yourself into all these things. Now, these things we talk about them and we laugh and they sound like nothing, right? Until when you want to do your ad and then you submit and your ad is not approved. So just make sure you avoid a lot of these things so that you're not going to have challenges. So I'm going to pause for questions, right? I'm going to pause for questions. Thank you so much. Udemy has dropped the link to where the site where you can get pictures for free. You can head on to freepic.com. Yeah. So let's go ahead. If you have questions, please drop in the chat, right? Drop. I'm going to be answering them, so don't worry. So let's go ahead. So let's look at navigating the Facebook Ad Manager. You know, navigating the Facebook Ad Manager, understanding the different tools in Facebook Ad Manager, and how to use them. Now, in your Facebook Ad Manager, you will find audience. The audience session is where you understand your target audience based on demographics. You can also create your custom audience for retargeting purposes. So as I said, the interfaces of these things can change, right? So sometimes the audience may not be exactly the way you're seeing here, but however the audience will be there, right? So that's very, very important. You can know, you can define your audience, and that's the beauty of Facebook ads. You can define that you want to target only people within the age of 18 and 24. You can decide that you want to target only people that love, football. Like you can just target. You can go around all of that. you know there are experiment tools, like you will see A on B test. Experiment tools help you to test your campaign to see which one is performing better to enable you make informed decision. Now, what you can do is you can decide to run, because when you want to run a campaign, there is always no exact, you're not always sure of the outcome, right? In as much as you're going to do the targeting, you're going to do the hard work, but you're not always sure of the outcome. So sometimes what you can do is you can spell out two ads. You can spell out two ads, and then you run them, you test them, to see which one will perform better than the other. Let's say for example that I want to run an ad of $100, but I'm not very sure whether the ad is going to be productive or not. So what I can do is I can make two ads, probably with two different audiences, right? And then I run the two ads at a budget of $5. The one which gives me the most result, I decide to put in more money in that particular ad. So I don't know if you understand. So sometimes you have to test the ad before you finally totally invest in the ad. So that's very, very important. Yeah, so let's go ahead. um, Creative hub tools in Facebook ad manager. Now here you can create your graphics. You can create the graphics, the videos for your ads. many things that you can do in your creative hub. So don't worry, we're going to get to that. Now, there's what we call the audience insight. The audience insight is the tool you use to know more about your audience in order to create a more streamlined audience. Let's say, for example, right, that I run a particular ad, and I target people between the age of, let's say I run an ad and I target people between the age of 18 and maybe 54, for example, and then I come to my audience insight and I find out that most people that purchase my product were more between the age of, or most people that interacted on my ad were more between the age of 18 and 24. That's a critical information. It's an important information because next time I can focus my ads only on those that are between the age of 18 and 24. Or let's say I find out that, let's say I run an ad in all of Nigeria, for example, or all of Ghana, and I find out that most of those that interacted on my ad are found mostly in Accra. What I'll do is that next time I'll most likely focus all my energy on Accra, Ghana, because my audience insight has given me, insight into how I can run better ads. So when you're done running your ads, it's very important to take time and analyze your audience, and analyze your insight to see the kind of people that liked your ad, to see the kind of people that interacted with your ad. Were they men? Were they women? Where did they come from? You have to analyze your insight. It will help you to know exactly, to make more informed decisions. So that's very, very important. So your insight, well, in this case, we are talking about Facebook, right? So uh, how to view your insight, your ad insight on Facebook ads, on Facebook Ads Manager, and how to make the best use of it. Now we're going to be looking at that very practically. If you look at just on your screen down here, you're going to see something like insights, right? But I'll show you all of that, so don't worry. Now, I don't know if you have questions, but if you have any question, put it in the chat, right? Now, when it comes to Facebook advertisements, right? There is what we call campaigns. And, I have to explain that. There is what we call campaigns. There is what we call ad sets, and there is what we call ads. There are three different things. There is what we call a campaign, there is what we call an ad set, and there is what we call an ad. Now, one campaign can have many ad sets, just like you can see on your screen. One campaign can have several ad sets, and one ad set can have several ads. So when you hear somebody say, I am running a Facebook campaign, it can mean that that person is running several ads. So a Facebook campaign doesn't mean you're running just one ad, right? If you hear someone say, I'm running a Facebook campaign, it means that that person is running several ads. Because sometimes you can even test ads, you can test ads. In fact, you can even run several ads and configure your ad in such a way that Facebook is going to only put in money in the ad that is most productive. So that is all of that is possible. So what I want you to note is that in a campaign, one campaign can have several ad sets. One ad set can have several ads. That's very, very important that you know that. And of course, the way you configure what you configure in a campaign is different from what you configure in an ad set, and is different from what you configure in an ad. So don't worry, right? Don't worry, we're going to be looking at that practically. Now, a campaign usually gives the general vision, the general or the overview vision. That's what a campaign gives. Because whatever you configure in a campaign, it's going to be respected in the ad. art set or in the different arts? Well, uh, let's just go ahead, right? I think when I open that page, you're going to see all of it better. So I'm going to pause for other questions. If you have questions, Annie Christie says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Annie Christie. Asade Venture says, the network is very poor from my side. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. I'm so sorry for that. And thank God we are on YouTube, right? Because now that we are on YouTube, you can always watch uh, the video at any time that you want. So thank God we're on YouTube. So let me just use this opportunity to greet everybody that I did not greet. Hope you are all doing well, right? Yeah, so we have to rush. Let's rush a little bit more since we have a lot to cover. So how to create an ad campaign is very easy, right? You just have to click on your ad on the menu, the three bar menu. You're going to see ad manager, then you click on the ad manager. Once you click on the ad manager, this usually how it will look like. A campaign. You can run several campaigns. You can run many campaigns. And like I said, under one campaign we have ad sets. Under ad sets we have ads. So we'll look at that. So, of course, you have to define the objective of your campaign, whether you want more traffic, engagement, app installments for those who have apps, video views, lead generation. Now, all of this is already there, right? You just have to choose, and I'll show you. So, don't worry about that. So, you have to name your campaign. After that, you have to define your audience. Now, yesterday, I gave you an idea on how you could define your audience because many people fail in ads in Facebook ads because of targeting. So the tools that I showed you yesterday were some of the tools you could use for targeting. For example, if you notice that your competitor, if you have the website of your competitor, right, you can take it to SimilarWeb or to Spyful, to find a lot of information about their audience, and from there you can see their audience interest, and you can just copy that interest that I showed you yesterday and just paste it here. And of course you will have to use your own common sense too. But having an insight into what the audience of your competitor looks like, it's a huge advantage. So you can create custom audience for retargeting. It's very important. That's why it's always advised that when you create an audience, you should name the audience that you created. So I can create an audience and I name it, M1 or M2, such that if I find out that that audience gave me a lot of returns, I can always retarget that audience. I can always retarget it, or I can do what we call look alike audience. Look alike audience means that you're trying to tell Facebook to look, to target similar people, like those that are already existing on your page. And you see that's even why sometimes there is a school of thought, right, that believes that when you create a Facebook page, you should not just ask any kind of person to follow. There's a school of thought that believes that way, and I think it's true somehow. Because today, for example, when somebody creates their Facebook pages, they just ask everybody to follow, the family members, the friends, even those that are not interested in your product. They are just following you, and that can be very dangerous. Because if you're to do a look alike audience, for example, what Facebook will do is that they'll go and look for many other people, like the ones that are following you, and it's not going to help you. You see, that's why a school of thought believes that when you create a Facebook page, you should not just ask any kind of person to follow. Because sometimes, if you want to run a look alike audience, most of these family members and all these people that follow you, well, that's important, you see, but most times they are not willing to pay for your products. So most time when you make a post, they're just going to be telling you things like courage, be strong, make sure you work hard, keep the work going. You see, so sometimes when you're going to be running a look-alike audience, what Facebook will do is that they'll go and look for many other people like this kind of people and send your ad to them. And so you're going to be having more of work hard, more of be strong. People that are not going to be buying your products, but that are going to be telling you be strong. So well, that's a school of thought which I think you should consider, right? Yeah. So you can do retargeting. Now, retargeting, when it comes to Facebook adverts, right? Retargeting is very important. Let's say, for example, that I run an ad and people visit my website, for example. I can decide to retarget only those who visited my website. Yes, because when someone visits my website, it means the person is interested, right? Probably somehow in the product that I'm offering. So what I can do is I can run an ad that retargets only those who visited my website. And so I will have a high chance of converting them. In fact, for those of you who will be running video ads, in your insight, you can know the number of people that saw your video from the beginning to the end. So let's say you make a video of 10 minutes. I'm just taking a rough example. You make a video of 10 minutes, right? So what happens is sometimes some people will view that video and will leave after 3 seconds. Others will view that video and will leave after 2 minutes. Others will look at that video and will leave after 10 minutes. Now, those that left after 10 minutes, it shows that they were really, really interested in the video. So, what you can do is you can target those that viewed your videos till the end, and that will be an interesting statistics. But however, for you to do that, you must have run an initial ad. That's why a retargeting ad, usually you do retargeting when you are, well, most times when you have already run an existing ad. So you do retargeting, to retarget those you think were most interested in your first ad. So those are many things. So I've already explained what a lookalike audience is. It helps you to expand your reach and to get you customers that are similar to your target audience. Very, very important. So of course you can choose your ad format. You can choose whether it's going to be a carousel, a single image, a single video, a slideshow. You can go ahead and choose how it's going to look like. Now, from there, now you have to put your headlines. Headlines are very important. And of course, as you're putting your headlines on the left hand side, on the right hand side, it is showing you exactly how your ad is going to look like. So you have to put your headline, your text, your call to action, very important. What will your call to action be, and your description? Yeah, so I intentionally rushed through the session, so that we can do practicals, so that's why I intentionally rushed through the session. Catherine, is it Catherine Reps? Is saying I can't see your screen clearly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Catherine. What you can do is you have to click on settings, and go to high definition to be able to see the screen clearer. Click on settings, and go to high definition to be able to be able to see um, the video clearer. Now, so let's go and look at what it looks like, right? So let me open uh, let me open business.facebook.com. Or let me just share my screen so that you can see. Mm, let me share my screen, right, so that you can see what I'm doing. So let me open business. .facebook.com. I'm hoping that internet is going to be fast for us to be able to work. Yeah. Now I just clicked on business.facebook.com. Let me just be sure that you can see my screen, right? I'm not talking to myself. Please let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so let's continue. Yeah, I was trying to show you how an insight looks like, right? So on the inside, you can have your page views. You can see how many people are seeing your post. There is a lot of information, right? You can have on your insight. We really cannot exhaust, all of it now. You can see your engagements. You can see your posts. You can see the reactions. You can see, for those who are doing videos, you can see how many people have watched your video after 3 seconds. You can see the retention rate. You can see the loyalty rate. There are just so many things which you know you're going to see a lot of that. So I want us to rush more into how to run Facebook ads, right? Because that's the part that is most important. Like I was saying, many of these tools, you're going to understand them as you practice and do them. So I want us to first focus more on Facebook ads, since that's where we should focus, or since that's what brings us here. Yes, so let me just go on to show you how an ad manager looks like. So uh, let me see. Let me close this. Uh, uh, okay, so let me share my screen. I hope you'll be able to see what I'm seeing here. Let me see. Great. Now, this is what an ad manager looks like, right? This is what an ad manager looks like. Now, usually for you to get to this level, you have to create an ad account, or rather, you have to create a manager account, which I explain how to do it. Now, you're going to see that there are many things. There are many things you can look at. We can look at here. There are many tools. You're going to see that an ads manager has, or a business, a Facebook business manager account has a lot of information. You can see your ad manager, your business settings, your account settings, your event manager, your insights. Like there is a lot of information, a lot of information. So usually what you can start by doing, is by heading on to business.facebook.com/overview. Most times you head on to business.facebook.com/overview. There you put in all your information. From there, you're going to create your account, and then you're going to head here, right? Head on to this page. Now, the reason why you're seeing this is because I already have an account, right? So I don't have to go through the whole process of recreating it. But it's very easy. Once you just follow the instructions that I showed you, it's very, very easy. Now, there are many tools that we could talk about, but then I'm going to go only to the things that are most essential. How do you run an ad on Facebook? How do you run a campaign? Now, if you look at the screen, you're going to notice campaigns here, right? Then you're going to notice ad sets. Then you're going to notice ads. Like I explained, under one campaign, you can have several ad sets. Under an ad set, you can have several ads, right? So if I want to run a campaign, what I can do is uh, I will click on create. Now this create will allow me to create a new campaign, right? Now when I click on create, they're going to ask me the name, to put the name of the campaign, right? I can put the name of the campaign, M1 campaign. Okay, maybe I should start by deleting what I have here. Mm. Let me see, or rather here. So let me delete what I have here, good, so that it's going to be easier for us to work. Now, so this is how it's going to look like. This is how it's going to look like. Now, this is how your page will look like if you have not run any campaign at all, right? So for me to run a campaign, I'll click on create, right? When I create, probably they'll ask me to put a name. I can name the campaign, uh, let me see. So when I click on create, it's going to ask me the objectives of my campaign, right? It's going to ask me the objective of my campaign. Now, what I want, it depends on what I want. If I want awareness, I'll click on awareness. If I want traffic, I'll click on traffic. If I want engagement, lead, those that have apps, right? So whenever I want to on campaigns, because I can click on ad sets, I can click on ads. So I will click on campaigns. Then you ask me for the objective of my campaign. Now let's say I want to run a campaign for, I don't know, awareness. I'm just taking an example, right? So I'll choose awareness. Then when I choose awareness, oh, I hope my internet is great. I hope you're seeing my screen. Yes, okay, you can see my screen. So I'll click on awareness. They're going to ask me the name of my campaign. I can call this campaign, campaign. Well, I can really just give it any name. Campaign one. I can give it any name. Now, here you see here categories, right? Categories. Under categories, well, sometimes you may not find your category here, right? Maybe you're doing, let's say somebody that is doing to agriculture may not find his category here necessarily. So what you do is that you can let it go. If you don't, that's why it's not even oblash, right? If you don't find your category there, it's okay, right? So you're going to go to campaign details. Now here you can edit there. You can go to show more options. Here you can put your campaign spending limit. Your campaign spending limit means that you're going to tell maybe Facebook that I don't want to spend more than this amount on campaigns. So such that when that amount will be approaching, right? Facebook is going to notify you, or Facebook is not going to exceed that amount, right? Now, there's what we call A on B testing. This option permits you to test several ads, because remember that under one campaign, there are several ad sets. And under several ad sets, under one ad set, there are several ads. So this option can permit you to test, different ads, to see for accuracy, to see the one that is best, right? Now you're going to see that when it comes to campaigns, you don't have a lot of things to configure. You don't have a lot of information to configure. You just have to configure just this few information, and that is all. When it comes to the campaign site. Now let me close it, right? Let me close it. So we are done with campaigns, right? With campaign one. So when you're done with a campaign, you're going to see it here, right? Indicating that you're done with it. So you now click on Add Set. Remember, we were working on campaign. Now you click on Add Set. Now you can click on Add Set, or you can click here. Oh, let me see. Now here we are under. Oh, okay. You now go to Add Set. So we finish with campaign, right? Campaign. Now we go to Add Set, right? Under Ad Set, you can call it maybe Ad Set, I don't know, Ad Set 1. You can give whatever name you want. It really depends on you. I'm hoping that internet is going to be fair with us, right? Now, under Ad Set, you can decide to, choose what you want. You want to maximize the reach of ads. You want to maximize the number of impressions. You want to maximize the ad recall lift. It depends on what you really want, right? You have to choose what you want there. Here you can set up your daily budget. Your daily budget. You can decide that your daily budget is going to be $5 per day. You can decide that it's going to be $1 per day, depending on what you want, right? You just have to set it up. Now, here you set when your ad is going to start running and when it's going to end running. So, for example, today is the 8th. I can decide that the ad will start running from the 9th. I can also set the time, right? The time which I want the ad to start running. And then I set the ending date. The ending date, I can decide that it will end maybe on, I don't know, the 22nd. And I can also set the time, maybe 22nd at maybe 4 p.m. I don't know. I can really set the time, depending on what I want to achieve. Now, it means that every single day from the 9th to the 22nd, this ad is going to be consuming $1 each day. That's the meaning of it. Now, from here, when it comes to audience, you can decide to create a new audience, or you can decide to use a saved audience. Now, you can, let's say, for example, that I created an audience, right? And I noticed that audience gave me a lot of returns. What I can do is that I can save that audience. For example, if I click here, you're going to see M1 and Mr. Simple, because these are audience that I've configured before. So if I just click here, automatically it's going to bring back all the details of the audience that I had saved before. So from here now, I can create a new audience, and here I can put the location. If I want the ad, here, for example, you're going to see that the ad is running in Cameroon, but I can decide that the ad will run, there are even many options. People living or currently living in this location, people living in this location, people recently in this location, people traveling in this location. Like, you really have the freedom to choose, You can decide to add another location. I can decide to add France. For example, I can click on France. And you see, immediately it's going to be showing my ad to those living in France. And you see, that's why it's amazing that you can be, for example, in Ghana, and you're selling products in, I don't know, in Nigeria. All of that happens here. It's just at a click. You might think it's some sort of magic. You just have to configure here. If I want to sell in Nigeria, I just have to configure here, Nigeria, depending on what I want, right? Depending on what I want, I choose the area that I want. I can now choose the age. Here, for example, I can choose the age between 18 and 65, or I can choose an age, any age at my comfort, maybe between 23 and I don't know, 35. Now, that's why the class which we had yesterday was very, very important. Because on the class which you had yesterday, I was showing you how you can have an insight into what the audience of your competitor looks like. You remember we had a class yesterday, right? And I showed you how you can know the interest of your audience, of the audience of your competitors. So once I know that interest, I can just come here and put those interests here. I just have to type it. Maybe I want people interested in, I don't know, in business. Business is going to give me many options. I can choose business to business. It really depends on what I want, right? So I will choose what I want there. And you know there are many options. I can now decide to save this audience. Let's say I find even the language. I can also decide the language. I can choose French, English, Portuguese, whatever language I want to choose. Many things that I can configure here. Many things that I can configure here. There is even the possibility to choose what we call the advantage audience. Usually the advantage audience, you don't create the advantage audience. Usually the advantage audience is done by, they help, Facebook assists you when it comes to advantage audience. You can choose manual placements. You can choose many options. So these are the many things you can do under an ad set. Now, remember we started with a campaign and I showed you how to create a campaign. Then we move from a campaign to an ad set. And like I said, we can make many ad sets under a particular campaign. Like here, remember that here we have just one ad set. I can decide to come here and I duplicate the ad set. You see, I can decide to duplicate the existing campaign, or it depends on what I want, right? I can decide to duplicate it and then change it. So that's what an ad set looks like. Now, from an ad set, you go to what we call an ad. Now, don't forget again that, under a campaign, you can have several ad sets, and under an ad set, you can have several ads, right? So when you go to your ad, you can decide to call this ad, just give it the name that you want, right? You can call it ad one, you know. From there, you can set up what do you want. Do you want to choose the format? Do you want the format to be a video? Do you want it to be a carousel? Do you want to be a collection? Whatever you want it to look like, you see. And from here, for example, let's say I want my ad to be an image, right? What I can even do is to upload. I can upload an image. You see, let me see. Or let me go on preview. No, preview. So you're going to see that it's going to show you how the ad will look like on all the platforms. On all the platforms, you can see how the ad will look like on all the different platforms. You see, this is how it looks like on Instagram. This is how it looks like on Facebook. This is how you look like on Instagram Explore, on video feeds, Instagram stories, Facebook stories. Now, unfortunately, my internet is really slow. It will show you how the ad will show on all the different platforms. On Facebook Reels, it's going to show you how the ads will show on all the different platforms. Now, if you're satisfied with it, you can do something about it. You can adjust it, or however you want to do it. Yeah. So that was probably what you can decide to make it a carousel depending on what you want. depending on what you want. You can come here maybe and click on edit media, you know. Maybe you can choose to select this image. For example, this is an image of Impact Hub, one of the programs that we are having. For example, it's going to show you how it's going to look like. You can upload an image. You can do many things. Just so many things. And you can always go to the advanced view to so that it can show you how your art will look like. Now, let me just do my best so that we finish maybe in 5 minutes. Now, here you can put your headlines, right? Your headlines. Let's say I put there cosmetics. I'm just putting any example, right? Cosmetics. Cosmetics. Now, you're going to notice that whatever I write here, cosmetics, is what, okay, well, since what is showing here is a digital skill training, let me just write there, digital skill training, right? Digital skill training. And I write maybe this, just a little description, this is a training from Impact Hub. Right? I just want to show you how it's going to look like. I can now add the call to action. The call to action could be whatever I want. It could be that I want messages. I can put message there as call to action. Now, immediately, you're going to see I can determine the destination, whether it's people are going to land on my website, what landing page, I want people to land on. There are many things that you can set up. Now, look at what happened to my art. You're going to see digital skill training here, right? And you're going to see the description. If I go on advanced preview, just so that you can see best. Wow, my internet is really so slow. I don't know why internet is so slow. I don't know why. Yeah, so we may not have the chance to see it. I just wanted to show you how it's going to look like, right? How it's going to look like. So you can see that all the things we wrote here, this is it. This is the digital skills training. This is the about, the description that we wrote down here. So that's how you can do. And of course, after that, you can publish the account. Now, if the reason I don't want to click publish is because, it can probably cut some, I don't know, it can cut some money, But however, when you want to click on publish, it's going to ask you to put the details of your account. Usually, even before you start running your ads, you have to put, your account details, such that, you can run your ad from there. Yeah, so I'm just going to click on close. And then you can see the ad that we attempted to run here. So all the ads that you want to run, they will always show here on the screen here, as you can see. Yeah, so having just not a lot of time, not having a lot of time, this is really the best we could do, right? This is really the best we could do. So what I would recommend, right, is that you take your time, and run your ads and really go through the whole process yourself. That's what I would recommend. That's what I would recommend, because you see, you only understand ads better as you run them better. And it's not possible in 1 hour to teach you everything. It's not possible. So what I would recommend today, I was just showing you so that uh, you can see exactly how it looks like, right? So now you can go and figure it out. Now, I don't know, Udemy maybe can drop the link of for those who want to learn more about digital marketing. Udemy can drop the link, so that I can see Beatrice, uh, Annie Christie saying this has been quite a lot. Yes, yes, I guess it's a lot because you're not practicing it along with me, right? That's why it looks like it's a lot, but in reality, it's nothing. It's really not hard. You can just, create your business .facebook.com account, and then you start practicing how to run the ads. You can decide to put in a budget of $5, maybe since it's your first time trying, and then from there you see how to go about it. Yeah, so Udemy has dropped the link for those who would want to learn more about digital marketing. So you can drop the link. Udemy has dropped the link which you can follow, to learn more. Yeah, so that was it. As you can see, the Facebook Business Manager has too many features. Too many features. The insights, the business settings, the event manager, the billing, so many of them. And most times you're going to learn them as you're going to understand them as you start running ads yourself. Yeah, so this week, the challenge I have for you is to run your own ad this week. So of course, when I'm done with an ad, I can delete it. I can decide to delete it, and you're not going to see it anymore. So we have come to the end of today's session. Thank you very much for being there. At least I showed you how you can run an ad. You've understood the difference between an ad set, and a campaign. And of course, from the class that we did yesterday, you can really get the best out of your ad. So thank you very much for joining. Hope you learned something. Hope you learned a lot, and I wish you the best as you start running your own ads. So the attendance form has been dropped. Udemy has dropped the attendance form, and you can click on the attendance form. Make sure you click on the attendance form and fill your name, because you're going to be giving certificates after this, right? And you want to make sure that the certificates that are given to you have the right information. So also follow us on our different social media pages, and of course you know why you should follow us, so that you can see how we do our own digital marketing and try to do same yourself, right? So follow us on our social media platforms. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye bye.